with all the innovation in thermal, there is a lot of things happening nowadays. So let's look at this bright future happily.
Hi, I'm Lieven, CEO of Diabatix and host of this brand new Cooling Channel podcast. In this podcast, I will interview experts and leaders in the field of thermal engineering. In this very first episode, I will be talking to Antoine de Ryckel, CEO of the company Calios. Calios is a Belgian company specialized in advanced heat pipe technology. This technology they have perfected over the past few years, and now they are ready to scale the production globally. I hope you enjoy it. Hey Antoine, welcome to the show.
Yeah, glad to be here. It's a very good opportunity to see you again.
Yeah, it has been a while ago, but it's a pleasure that you wanted to join my podcast.
We are close by, so among Belgians, it's always good.
Indeed. And luckily the traffic was okay.
Yeah, very good. Yes.
Only 10 minutes delay, so that's for Belgian terms.
It
was very good. Antoine, I guess most people don't know you yet. Can you maybe just start with a quick introduction from your end.
Okay.
Who are you and what does Calios then do exactly?
Okay, very good. So I'm an engineer from education, so electronic engineering, so not thermal. And then I've been done all my career in technology companies. First software, so like you. And then I moved actually from software here, actually in the same city, in Leuven. I was in a software company for car, automotive actually software. And then I move in manufacturing. So I move in manufacturing companies, electronics companies. It can be projection systems, telecommunication systems, lighting systems. So all my career in manufacturing companies, doing more product management and business unit management. And then came the opportunity of Calios, that I joined as a CEO 3 years ago now. That was really actually moving from more manufacturing company to actually a company supplying to manufacturing companies. So it's an interesting step for me to be another spot in the supply chain, actually. Yeah. And so that's it. I'm based in Belgium, and I have a lovely family.
That's probably the most important part of the life, I guess.
Exactly.
So CEO of Calios, and what does Calios do exactly? For people that don't know the company.
Calios is really focused on thermal, so that's good. We have actually a technology that is diphasic or two-phase cooling technology. So in a two-phase technology, we have heat pipe that has traditional cooling technologies. And what we do is more loop heat pipe. So it's a more advanced version of heat pipe, let's say. And we also work on pulsating heat pipe and microchannel heat pipe. So we are really a specialist in two-phase technologies, and we have there some patents as well, and some special patents that we have, and special know-how to produce it. So that's really a core of our business.
Yeah. But you joined in the company after it was founded. You're not the original founder.
I'm not the founder.
So
no. Originally, actually, it's a spin-off of another company called Euro Heat Pipe, which is a space active company. So it's a company that is doing heat pipe for satellites. And today they are owned by Airbus, so the big plane company. And you are a spin-off from that, because at that time, the founder of the company, Olivier Delade, was the CEO of Euro Heat Pipe, got a lot of requests for ground application, can be trains, can be computer, and then they decided to spin off and create Calios. It's already 10 years ago. It's a long time. And then actually the company, for many years, actually developed the company from space to ground. You know, in a space, you cannot go on a satellite every day. So the technology needs to be very mature and stable, but in a satellite, you have no humans. So you have no safety risk in a way, and it can be very costly, right? So a heat pipe in a satellite is not costing €10. It's costing, let's say, 100 times more. So we did at Calios a lot of development to reduce the cost of the technology and also to make it safe for the people around it. So typically, for example, we are using as a fluid, a dielectric fluid, that is safe, and we are not using flammable fluid, for example, in a lot of applications. So we have done a lot of work on reducing the costs and making the technology working for terrestrial application the last 6 years, and then arrived more for the commercial aspect. Yeah. So my background is more working in electronic companies for product management, so company strategy, commercial, etc. So I'm really there to move actually Calios to the next step.
Yeah. What was you? Because you actually come from a different background than the thermal engineering background. And
yes.
you entered that part of the engineering world. What was to you most striking about it, or what is there something that you can say? Okay, this is actually something I really noticed, or that.
It's interesting because I was on the other side before, and so I was actually when I was leading product management, we were also specifying thermal. As a product manager owning some product lines. And so indeed we were specifying a thermal, and it was a kind of a given. It was, you specifying that, and we were supposing that the engineers would actually solve that easily. And in a lot of companies I was working for, there were not really a lot of thermal engineers, actually. It was always coming in the end of the project, like a given. And so I think what is striking actually when I started is that, with Calios, we have a special technology, so actually customers are coming to us when they have problems, right?
Yeah, we know that feeling.
They hope that our technology will solve the problem.
Yeah.
They believe it's 100% magic. It is magic, but they hope that it will solve the problem. And so what was striking to me is actually the people were coming when it was too late. It was kind of the end of the process, and actually technology can help, but and we already solved problems with that, but I think striking as thermal was not put high on the agenda, generally speaking. Perhaps the evolution we see now is that in its last years, that actually thermal is becoming much higher on the agenda today.
Okay.
We have people coming to us not when they have the problem and they have already designed a full product. They come when at the beginning of the project. And so that's really a change we see the last 6 to 9 months, actually.
Okay, it's really recent.
Yeah, it's pretty recent that people are coming really early to understand how the technology can be used, because they know that they will have a thermal problem. And you know that with electrification of vehicles, the CPU of the computers are releasing more heat. There is a thermal challenge that are coming, and you must feel the same with diabetics.
Well, yeah, we have actually. It's striking that you mentioned that issue, because we have exactly the same observation that when especially in the early days of Diabatix, when we provided services to our companies, to our customers, they would come to us when it basically was too late. And then of course they were already behind their timeline and their product development timeline. And
a lot of stress.
A lot of stress, high stakes, because if it wouldn't work out, then they had to restart the whole product development cycle again, and and well, of course, from commercial point of view, it's also an interesting position to be in. But from time pressure point of view, it's not the easiest, especially not with the special technology.
So I think that's good to see and good to hear. I think thermal is on the agenda today. And so I think
we have absolutely the same impression.
So there's a big shift in the market, and I think it will be. It will be more and more important. And I think for thermal engineers, it's nice. It will be more listened to. We are not, so that's good. That's good.
And does it also, do you also see that it has an effect on the way you organize your company now? Or because you say it's past 6 to 8 months, it's very recent shift then in
But we are hiring people because we see that there is growth in front of us. So yes, we are the impact on our side is that we see grow, and we see that, and we are hiring people. Perhaps the difficulty is that finding good thermal engineers is not easy, and so that's a challenge, like everyone, I believe. So I think thermal engineers will become a scarce resource, and so you need to make sure that you have good ones, that you keep the ones you have, and that you find good engineers. So I think the preparation for us is to hiring people for the moment. Which is good.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good evolution. Now with especially with the when you say cooling and you think of energy, as a whole energy crisis, especially then also with many of our customers feel it. Do you have the same observation that there's that it is felt in the market? And
actually that's interesting, because the first goal of the technology is to cool down a component by having vaporization in the fluid that is actually bring the heat on another location. But we had more and more calls actually the last 2-3 months on how can we recover the heat. So it's about heat recovery, and we had that with a kind of aeronautic company asking how can we recover the heat in a plane. So we have heat sources, but we want to do something useful with this heat. And we have that also in data center world. We have all the CPUs that are heating up. How can we recover the heat to warm up water, for example? So So that's an interesting trend we see, and I think it's more in the first stage of the trend, but I'm pretty sure that this will become more and more important. So cooling is one thing, but recovering the heat to actually make it's something useful of it is interesting. And the three aspects are actually heat recovery to warm up water. That's one. The second is to reuse heat to transform it to electricity. Yeah. So it's a thermoelectric type of things. And the last demand we see is heat storage. So can you store the heat to reuse it for something more useful in a certain time? So there's a three kind of trends, but one that's long-term trends. I don't think it will impact the market just right now, but something we see at least.
Yeah.
So fun.
There's certainly a lot of things moving, and absolutely. Now I've noticed, Antoine, you also have been doing some traveling lately. Quite a bit, because it was we had to find a good spot to find a recording date for this podcast. It was not that easy. So you were almost half of the world, to my impression. So I guess Belgium for sure is too small for this world. But where do you see then the thermal engineering being put the highest on the agenda, or where does all the travel lead you to?
But that's interesting. That's true that Calios, majority of our customers are worldwide, and that's true that we're in contact with the full world. I would say where we see a lot of movement is North America. For sure. It depends on the market, obviously, and the application, but if we speak automotive, we see North America a lot of demand there and thinking process, innovation. But we see also countries like Japan actually thinking also. So we have more and more requests from Japan for some reason. So I would say it's a kind of a global aspect, but if you ask me to name one continent, I would say North America, where we see a lot of traction going on for the moment.
And mostly within automotive, or
all the markets. All the markets. We are not all active in all the market, but we are active in automotive. We are active in aeronautic. But I would say automotive, North America, and Japan. Aeronautic, as a European company, we're mainly active in Europe, so that will be Europe. Computing, it's Europe, North America. And if you see the energy type of things, green energy, I would say then more Europe for the moment. So it depends on the market. That's interesting to see these trends.
Okay. Yeah, and you also participated in quite a few conferences and fairs. Most of the time with a booth, or do you? One of the questions we had internally over the past months was especially after COVID, is it still worth to have those events and to participate in them, because people are now used not to go to those events.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No, we went to a few, and I think there are less people than before. So the general feedback is that there is probably 50% less people than before. To the place I've been, when I was discussing with the people, they say, yes, 3 years ago it was 2 times bigger or 3 times bigger. But I think the quality of the contacts is good. So I think the people that are going is because they're interested, they want to go there. So it's another dynamic. I think some people are happy to see back faces and the real people. So I would say it's the dynamic is pretty good, and so I would recommend to do some exhibitions. It's not nice to do, but it's always in combination with other things.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do it as well, and almost monthly we also are at different fairs and events, and
Diabatix is very active.
Well, we do our best. Well, you just met our content marketeer, and she does all the effort she can to put us on the agenda. In a few months we will have a joint affair that we both will participate in with Symmeterm. I also invited you to give a course there, which you actually almost immediately accepted. Which so to that I can tell that's important to you. That and what pushes you, or what drives you then to give that course? Because not everyone does that.
But I think we have a new technology. And so actually, new technology, we have a lot of people coming to us asking to learn more about the technology. So I think it's interesting to not give back, but to share our knowledge about the technology and understand if it can be useful for the community. So I think that's the main aspect to it. I will be there with our CTO and different people of the team. Summit Terms was actually an event that was on our agenda when I started in the company. We looked at all the events, and Summit Terms was there, and then came COVID. So we are very happy to go to Summit Terms and to be there. And so I think the training is really it's more curiosity. When we have calls with thermal engineers from our customers, even big companies that don't really know two-phase technologies. They know heat pipe a little, but when you ask, do you know the technology, have you used it? Usually, even if you have an audience of 10 people, there is perhaps one or two that knows it. And when you speak heat pipe, so when you speak actually loop heat pipe or pulsating heat pipe or others, actually no one knows it. And so I think our drive to go there is really to face a kind of thermal community and explain what we do with this technology and try to understand if it sparks interest in the community. But I would say it will.
I guess you must.
No, but it will, because every customer we meet is interested. It's a technology that is working passively. You don't need electricity to make it work. And so nowadays, where we want to spare energy and we want to have more efficient vehicles, electric vehicles, and so on, it's a technology that makes sense. And so I think the training will be very useful for that. If you look at the abstract that you have read of the training, we'll make it an interactive session so that we explain the technologies, but we also take time actually with our CTO to really go in the different applications and possibilities so that we can really have an interesting session. So it will be nice. We're looking forward to be at Summit Term.
Very good to hear that. Well, I will be there as well. So if I have the chance, I will for sure.
The Belgian gang, the Belgian gang, and we can make a kind of beer evening, for all the Belgians, all the Americans there to taste some good beer.
Because actually one of our other partners, Amovis, will also be there.
Oh really?
Yeah. So we're for sure already with 3 Belgian companies going there. So
that's fun.
We can do a Belgium evening there.
Joke aside, why not?
Anton, where do you see it going forward? How do you see it move forward from here on? Because you have a very good technology. I mean, I'm familiar with it. It sounds like it solves quite a bit of the issues, but like with all new technology, it doesn't solve everything. And I guess you want to push continue to push the boundaries.
I think the challenge for Calios, we are a small company. We are 15, 17. We'll be close to 20 people soon. But when we speak with huge companies, huge automotive companies or computing companies, they look at us like, what is this tiny company doing here? It's interesting, but I think we need to partner. That's the bottom line. If we want to move to mass production, we need to partner with a strategic partner that can help us to produce what we do. And I think the next step for Calios is just to do that. We have proven that our technology is working. We have proven with customers that it's kind of close to production. We have use cases. It's implemented in an environment and products. The next step now is to produce. And we can produce obviously in Belgium, but we know that Belgium is not the best place to produce. So we are really going, and we are starting that actually as we speak, a project to find a strategic partner that has a footprint to produce our technology. And that's the big next step for us. Because it's nice to be a prototype, but we need to really move to the next step. We produce already in small series in Belgium. You've seen the factory, but it's a small factory. And so if you want to scale and leverage what we do, we really need to find the right partner. And that's the target for 2023.
All right, very exciting.
So let's see mid of 2023 where we are, but that's really the key target for the next step for us to move in this direction. Yeah.
Okay, that's very exciting.
It's exciting. This hopefully it's successful. Huh?
Yeah, definitely. And what was because we're talking about now about the success, but our potential success. Yeah. But what was maybe the biggest struggle that you experienced to get from when you started 3 years ago to now?
I would say the biggest struggle, the first biggest struggle was COVID for us. When I started, because we had all the commercial process was online, and so all the customers we have today have been made through virtual webinars and calls, and so a lot of customers we have never met. That can be strange, but we have customers we have never met in our life, and so to co-develop and innovate together is not easy. So it's good that we can travel back, but that's really a challenge. But having said that, we see a take-up in the technology adoption, in the request, And with everything what's happening now, electrification, energy, we really see that it's going the right way. But I would say the first hurdle was really getting in contact with the market efficiently to make a value proposition to them. That was really the challenge with COVID and so on. Now that has passed, we see traction, and so the next challenge is what I just told: produce. Produce, and because software is the same. It's moving from a first platform to a production scale platform and scale usability. So all the small companies that are listening to us probably know what we are speaking about.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow. To me, it sounds at least very, very familiar. We have seen the same struggles. Let's say fast forward 5 years, 10 years from now, where will you be? Where will Calios be?
Calios will be with a partner. And we will have our technology produced in vehicles. Yeah. For vehicles, for computers. So we'll really see the success of Calios. I'm convinced of that. I'm convinced that the technology can be produced. That's number one. That is working. And it can be done cost effectively. So all of the cross has been done. And so in 5 years we'll be somewhere in a vehicle that you will see on the street, not in a plane yet. It will be kind of later in a computer. But this translation from prototype to mass production will have been done. And there we'll innovate on new things, in my opinion. The target of the company will be more to innovate on heat recovery, transforming the heat to electricity. So it will be other topics. It's never stopping,
I for sure know that.
So there will be a lot of new challenge ahead, but I think we have 5 years ahead that will be very interesting, at least for engineers like us.
Yeah. Okay. I'm really looking forward to see that evolution. I don't know if Antoine, if there's anything additional that you want to share, because I have a few small questions left for you. But if there's something you would like.
I think thank you for the invitation. It's always nice to see you, Lieven, and to meet the team. I would say, we as thermal engineers, so active in thermal market, I think we have very exciting times ahead. With what you do, with what we do, with all the innovation in thermal, there is a lot of things happening nowadays. So let's look at this bright future happily, and let's enjoy your work. That's my main message today. And if people are listening and are looking for dephasic technology, don't hesitate to contact me.
I can definitely recommend to do that.
So that would be my last message.
Okay.
Before you have any questions.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I have a few small questions left. So if you would give just short answers, if you have one piece of advice for new engineers that would enter the thermal engineering world or community, what would that piece of advice be?
Passion. I would say passion. I think we have a lot of... I can make a long answer or small?
You can make it as long as you want.
But passion in the word. We have a lot of interns in the company, and you really see sometimes young engineers that have a passion for that. They come and they say, wow, that's really cool. So that are the right thermal engineers to me. Yeah. So passion. Yeah. So try to understand as young engineers what is thermal engineering, and it can really be passionating topics. So I would say passion. And once they get this level of passion, then all the doors are open for these engineers.
Yeah, definitely. Now, completely different question. Do you have a favorite book that you would recommend?
I have a lot of favorite book, but the one I would recommend, here in the area, probably in the business area, a book I liked a lot. It was Crossing the Chasm from Jeffrey Moore. It's already probably 15 or 20 years. No, 15 years old, probably. Yeah. You read it or?
Yeah, I read it as well. Yeah.
I liked it very much. Actually, that's really targeting innovation and startups in a way. No. But it's very interesting topics. And the same author made a lot of other books that are interesting as well. But Crossing the Chasm is interesting because a lot of small companies like us are finding this a reality in a way, and it's very interesting advice that we can find there. So, Crossing the Chasm, if you have time. So it's not a thermal book, but it's a technology book in a way.
Yeah. I can also absolutely recommend it. It's definitely an eye-opener. Well, it's basically naming the things that you feel that you feel, but you can't really express what it is exactly. And the book is
a lot of interesting books,
recommend.
actually. A lot of interesting books. But
okay, and do you have a favorite quote?
But I will take one that was from one of my previous boss. So I will take two, but I don't know from where it's coming from actually. But one is execution is everything. Mm-hmm. So it's always nice to make nice PowerPoint plans, but execution is everything. And I don't know who did that. Execution is everything. Is that...
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know the quote?
Well, I know the quote. I mean, it's not unfamiliar to me, but I can't say who
from where is that.
Well, if someone knows, you can leave it in the comments.
Yeah, please. But I think execution is everything is really true for a lot of companies and what you do. So that's one. And the one that was that I like from one of our previous boss is we refuse to lose. Actually, I started actually as a sales, a technical salesperson in a startup here in the area for automotive, and it was my boss. And it was really an experienced guy. And every time we were losing a deal, he was telling, "We refuse to lose, Antoine. We go back and we refuse to lose." And I learned from that. It's really even if you have a setback, you refuse to lose, you go ahead. And I think it's important for startups, for sure, but in life in general, so refuse to lose. I like it also, anyway.
Okay, so last question. Who should I invite next? To my podcast.
I think it would be interesting to have customers. I can be your customers and so on, but I mean...
the more customers, the merrier for me. But
I mean, people that are coming from the market, like someone in automotive, with really like 20 years thermal experience in this market, or someone in the computing world. So I will think about it and give you one or two names. Because I cannot name perhaps these people in the podcast, but I think really someone that has a knowledge and vision about thermal in certain industry could be really interesting, I think. Then you would have...
I'll have my eyes open for those kind of people for the next episode.
Okay.
Well, Anton, thanks a lot for your time.
It was fun.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it indeed.
Very good to see you.
I hope, maybe next time in a few years we have a follow-up around and we see
all the people you have invited to do a big gathering.
And
you take a kind of a key quote from the podcast and you see if it has been realized or something, you see?
That sounds like a good thing to put on the agenda. Well, Antoine, thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
See you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe and see you next time.